All right, strap in everybody because today we are going deep on Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, yeah.
Yeah, this guy, 200 million subscribers across all these different channels, international expansion, and he's even kind of like reshaping how people think about philanthropy.
He really is. And the really cool thing is we're going to be pulling all this from his recent appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're not just going to be talking about the success story. We're going to be talking about actionable takeaways that you, the listener, can take away from this, whether you're a budding YouTuber or just someone who wants to make it big and wants to understand how to do that.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And everyone knows that Mr. Beast started young, like his first video. I think he was 11 years old.
11 years old.
Got like 20,000 views.
That's crazy.
But, those early years weren't exactly glamorous. Like, he had to save up for months just to buy, like, a decent microphone and computer. And, he was facing skepticism from, like, everybody.
Yeah, and that's a point I think a lot of people miss, is that they hear started young and they think instant success. But for Mr. Beast, that was just fuel to the fire. He was facing the same limitations that pretty much every aspiring creator does: lack of resources, lack of social support, and he had to grind through it.
Yeah, he totally did. And that grind led him to make a pretty risky decision. He graduated high school and just went all in on YouTube, even though his mom was not thrilled about it.
Classic.
But here's where things get really interesting, because he wasn't just making videos and hoping for the best. He was like obsessed with figuring out why things went viral.
He talks about forming these like daily masterminds with other YouTubers, and they would spend hours dissecting successful videos, like forensic analysis. They'd be looking at thumbnail brightness, the frequency of camera cuts, trying to find the patterns and correlations between these elements in going viral.
Okay, so break it down for me. What kind of elements in a thumbnail could actually influence views?
Well, you got to think about things like color psychology, right? A bright, vibrant thumbnail is going to stand out when you're scrolling through a sea of content.
No, that's true.
There's things like emotional triggering, like using imagery and text. That's going to evoke curiosity, excitement, maybe even a little bit of controversy.
Ooh, yeah, get those clicks.
They were basically reverse engineering the algorithms and the human psychology behind them.
Wow. So it wasn't luck. It was a data-driven strategy right from the start.
Absolutely. And, that data-driven approach went beyond just his own content.
Yeah.
He recognized that if he wanted to achieve truly massive success, he couldn't just be making content for English-speaking audiences.
Right. And that brings us to the dub channel strategy.
Genius.
Most creators, they stick to their native language. But Mr. Beast, he thought bigger.
Global.
Yeah, global. He saw that language barrier as like a huge opportunity.
And he did it strategically. He didn't just like auto-translate his videos. He invested in quality dubbing. He got local voice actors. He even got the Spanish Spider-Man voice actor for his Spanish channel.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
It's attention to detail.
But why is that so important? Why isn't like a translated video good enough?
It's about cultural relevance. When viewers hear a familiar voice, they see localized details. The content just feels more authentic and engaging. It's not just passively watching, they're connecting on a deeper level.
He was thinking about things that most creators don't even consider.
Absolutely, that foresight. That's why he's dominating.
So you would think that all this success would change a person, right?
You would think so, especially in the YouTube world where it's all about the lavish lifestyle.
Yeah, show off all your stuff.
But Mr. Beast is different. He actively resists that urge to splurge, even when he has the wealth to do so.
It's funny, in the interview, he talks about how he was living in a modest duplex and driving a normal car.
Right, and he was totally fine with that.
For a while.
Until security concerns forced him to upgrade his situation. There was a break-in, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. But but even now his lifestyle is incredibly grounded compared to people in his position. Which makes you wonder, why not enjoy the fruits of your labor? Is it all for show?
I don't think so. I think it goes a little deeper than that. He actually talks about a ball-out phase he went through.
Oh, really?
Where he was buying the designer clothes, eating at the fancy restaurants, and he realized it just wasn't fulfilling. It was a fleeting feeling.
It's like money can't buy happiness, but he had to experience it for himself to really understand it.
Exactly. And I think that, coupled with that break-in where he lost a lot of material possessions, I think that really solidified his values, that it's not about the stuff you own, it's about the impact you make.
Right, and that's where Beast Philanthropy comes in.
Huge.
Using his platform and his resources to make a real difference. Millions of dollars donated homes built for the homeless environmental projects.
It's not just charity, it's about aligning your actions with your values. He sees the hypocrisy in preaching about helping others, but then living a life of excess. He wants to walk the walk.
It's incredible. It's so much more than just a success story. It's about finding your passion, pursuing it relentlessly, and then using your platform to do good.
It really is, and we've only just scratched the surface here.
I know there's so much more to this guy.
So much more to uncover.
We're back, and I am still thinking about that whole dub channel strategy.
It's pretty amazing.
Like he cracked the code to global reach.
He did.
And in a way that most creators haven't even considered.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't even think about it.
No, they just make their content.
Yeah.
And hope for the best. But, okay, so let's talk about the actual content. What's he making?
That's where the analytical approach really comes in again. Remember those daily masterminds?
Yes.
They weren't just looking at thumbnails. They were diving deep into the data behind what made videos successful.
Okay, so like break it down for me. What data are we talking about here? Is it just views and likes?
No, it's much more nuanced than that. You've got to think about things like audience retention. At what point are people clicking off the video click-through rate? How enticing is that title, the thumbnail demographics? Who is actually watching this and why?
Okay, so he's getting really specific.
Very specific. They were looking for those patterns, those little details that would tell them how to keep people engaged and how to really understand what was resonating with viewers.
So it's like a science experiment.
Exactly. They were treating YouTube like a giant science experiment.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And through a meticulous analysis of that data, they were able to really refine their content strategy. They weren't just throwing videos out there hoping something would stick. They knew what was going to stick.
So they were like hacking the algorithm?
In an ethical way.
In an ethical way, yeah.
Yeah, they were giving the people what they wanted,
Right.
but in a way that was fresh, that was original, and undeniably entertaining.
Yeah, and I think that's why they were able to scale so quickly.
Exactly.
It wasn't luck. It was calculated growth fueled by data.
And that calculated approach applied to his business decisions as well. He understood that you have to reinvest in the content if you want long-term success.
That's interesting because I think a lot of creators, especially early on, they try to cash out as quickly as possible.
That bag.
But Mr. Beast was playing the long game.
He was building an empire, not just a channel. He was reinvesting that money into better equipment.
Oh, smart.
Higher production value, and then even eventually hiring a team to help him scale his operations.
So he was thinking like an entrepreneur.
From the very beginning, absolutely. He understood that to achieve sustainable success, you've got to treat content creation as a business. It's not just about making videos. You got to be thinking about building the brand, managing finances, and investing in that growth.
This is starting to sound less like a YouTube success story and more like a masterclass in business strategy.
And that's what's so fascinating about his journey is that it transcends the platform. The principles he embodies, data-driven decision-making, calculated risk-taking, reinvesting in growth, that applies to anything.
Yeah, so it's like he's accidentally created this blueprint for success, whether you're an aspiring YouTuber
Absolutely.
or an entrepreneur or just someone who wants to achieve their goals.
Yeah, he's a case study in what's possible when you combine passion with a strategic mindset and an unwavering commitment to excellence. But it's not just about hustle.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your actions with your values.
And that brings us back to Beast Philanthropy.
Yeah.
He's not just talking about giving back, he's making it a core part of his brand.
Which, again, incredibly strategic in a world where consumers are becoming more and more conscious of social impact. Aligning your brand with a cause can be a major differentiator.
But is it genuine? Like, is it possible he's just using philanthropy as a marketing ploy?
It's impossible to know anyone's true motivations, but I think his actions speak pretty loud here. He's donating millions of dollars, building homes for the homeless, funding environmental projects. These are tangible things that are making a real difference.
And he's not just writing checks, he's actually involved. He's on the ground getting his hands dirty and showing people that he's walking the walk.
Which brings us back to authenticity.
Yes.
Right? Consumers can spot a fake a mile away. Mr. Beast's commitment to philanthropy feels genuine, and I think that resonates with his audience.
This is like this virtuous cycle. Success fuels his philanthropy, which enhances his brand, which further fuels the success.
It's brilliant.
It's really smart.
It's a testament to the power of purpose-driven business. When you align your business goals with a social mission, you create this really powerful force for good.
It's inspiring.
It really is, and it makes you wonder, what seemingly crazy idea or passion are you holding back on?
Ooh, good question.
Could Mr. Beast's story inspire you to take that leap of faith to pursue that dream you've been putting off?
Yeah, maybe you've got a business idea you've been hesitant to start, or a creative project you've been putting on the back burner, or you've got a cause that you're passionate about but haven't fully embraced.
That's right. Mr. Beast's journey is a testament to what's possible when you combine passion with dedication, strategic thinking, and that commitment to making a difference.
So go out there, explore Mr. Beast's content,
Check it out.
not just for the entertainment value, but for the lessons that you can learn about success,
Absolutely.
entrepreneurship, and the power of using your platform for good.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the next Mr. Beast inspiring millions with your creativity and your generosity.
That's a great point. We should all aspire to be like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked a lot about Mr. Beast,
We have.
the early grind, the data obsession, the dub channel strategy,
Mm.
his approach to wealth philanthropy.
Mm.
But what really sticks with me is this idea that he accidentally created this blueprint for success.
Yeah, he didn't mean to write the book on how to make it big,
Right.
but he did.
Yeah, by just relentlessly pursuing this passion
Yeah.
and adapting to the online world, he's kind of shown us these universal principles that apply to anyone.
Absolutely. And they go way beyond YouTube. We're talking data-driven decision-making, calculated risk-taking, building a team, understanding the audience. This stuff applies to any field.
Totally.
Yeah.
So if we zoom out from Mr. Beast in his story,
Yeah.
we can see this framework for success built on a few things.
Yeah.
So first, you got to figure out what you're passionate about.
Yeah. Find that thing that drives you, that thing you're willing to put in the hours for, even when it's tough.
And it sounds like for Mr. Beast, that passion started really young, like 20,000 views on your first video at 11 years old. That's got to be a big boost.
Yeah, it's like a positive feedback loop, right? Early success, even on a small scale, can fuel that fire and give you the confidence to keep going. But passion alone isn't enough.
Right.
You also need a strategic mindset.
And that's where the data obsession comes in, right?
Exactly. Constantly analyzing, testing, refining.
Like a scientist.
They were treating content creation like a science.
It's so smart. And it's a good takeaway for anyone who wants to succeed online these days. Doesn't matter if you're a YouTuber, an entrepreneur, or someone with a small business. You got to understand the data.
Yeah, you got to know what's working, what's not working. What can you tweak to perform a little better?
Like he was saying, it's not just about making great content. It's about making sure the right people see it.
You got it.
And to do that, you got to understand these algorithms, the platforms, the psychology of the people watching.
You got to get in their heads.
Yeah.
And, that level of analysis can feel overwhelming, especially if you're just starting out.
Totally.
But remember, Mr. Beast, he didn't do it alone. He built a team.
Oh, that's right.
He collaborated. He leveraged the expertise of people around him.
It's a good reminder that even the most successful people, they don't go it alone.
Yeah, there's that myth of the solopreneur, right? But we all need support.
Yeah, we do. And that support can come from anywhere. Mentors, friends, family collaborators, advisors, even just online communities.
Right. People who encourage you and challenge you to be better.
Totally. Okay, so we've got the passion, we've got the strategy, the team. Ooh, what else are we missing?
Something that people forget all the time, but it's so important: resilience.
Ooh.
Mr. Beast faced setbacks, doubts, rejection in those early days,
Yeah.
but he kept going. He learned from his mistakes. He never gave up on that vision.
He was persistent, and I think that comes from that early grind when you've had to fight for every view, every subscriber. You get tougher.
Yeah, it builds character.
Yeah, so you can weather those storms that inevitably come.
Because success is rarely a straight line,
It's not.
There are bumps, challenges, moments where you want to give up.
It's hard.
But the people who persevere, who learn from those failures, they're the ones who achieve those goals.
And Mr. Beast is living proof. He started with nothing but passion and a cheap camera, and he's built an empire.
And he did it without compromising his values. He's using that platform to make the world a better place. It's a great reminder that success doesn't have to come at the cost of your integrity.
So what's the one thing you should take away from all this?
I think it's this: no matter what you want to achieve, whether it's a YouTube channel, a business, just making a difference in your community, Mr. Beast has shown us that it's possible if you have passion, strategy, resilience, and are willing to work with others.
It's about finding your voice, getting better at what you do, building that network, and never giving up.
And maybe along the way, you'll inspire millions and change the world for the better.
All right, that wraps up our deep dive on Mr. Beast. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
And remember, success is a journey, not a destination. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.